Hi, it's Sam here from Bear Capital. I'm just doing a short video which is going to run you through how our trading system works, i.e. how Nick's trades get onto Telegram and the automated system that we're using for that. And as you can see on screen, there's a example of some of these trades that Nick is taking and how they're appearing in Telegram. So I'm just going to run through each line of these messages and explain exactly what you're looking at. So if we look at this first message here, the first line, obviously you're going to see an icon here of a megahorn, and it will say trade message. That's obviously letting you know that this message that you're just seeing on Telegram is related to a trade. Either a trade is being opened, modified, or closed. So anytime you see that, you will know that that is exactly what the message is about. Obviously, Nick is still going to be typing in and posting his market analysis and his thoughts on the trades throughout the trading day. They obviously won't have this icon on them. The next line down is an ID, so that's going to give an ID of the trade. Each individual trade is going to have its own unique ID, which will be repeated anytime that trade is modified, or indeed if it's closed later in the day. And these three trade messages here, you'll see they all have the same ID. So you know these three messages are related to the one gold trade. The next line down is going to tell you what type of trade message it is. So you can see here on this first message it says new. That obviously means that this is a new trade. So Nick is taking a new trade on this trade message. Jumping down to the next message, this says modified TP. So on the same trade, Nick is modified to take profit. Of course, you could see modified SL there, which would be a modified stop loss. And on the next message down here, you'll see it says closed. So it's obviously telling us that this is a trade, that this trade message is telling us a trade has just been closed. The next line down on the message is obviously going to tell us what's being traded. So this says gold, so we know that this is a new gold trade Nick has just taken. And then we'll see a set of information below it. Obviously that there's a down arrow and it says sell, so we know that Nick has sold gold and he sold it at this price. The next line down, if he had a stop loss set as he was executing the trade, and if he had to take profit set as he was executing the trade, those respective prices will be here and here as well. But obviously he hasn't set those as he's executed this trade. So the next message down, obviously, as I mentioned, it's a modified take profit trade. And as mentioned as well, you'll notice the ID here is the same as the ID there. And I'll show you a feature that is quite useful when you're looking at those IDs as well. But because the IDs match, we know that this is related to the same gold trade. So he's obviously modified to take profit here. And if we go down to our information on this message, we can see it's the same information there. It was a sell trade at this price. But what's changed is the take profit. You can see the take profit has gone from 0.00 to this price here, just letting us know that the take profit was set. And the next message down is again obviously the same ID, so we know it's all related to this one gold trade. And importantly, it says closed here, so we know that this trade message is a message that is closing this trade ID here. And again, we'll look down at our information and it's still the same there. We have the price we sold at, we have the price our take profit at, and then obviously at the bottom of every closed trade message there is a summary of the close. So you can see that it was closed at this price, so it obviously hit our take profit, and then underneath that it's going to give us just a summary of the profit that was actually made on that trade. So that's generally an overview of how the messages are formatted and how they come in. There's a couple of extra features that are quite useful. Obviously, as you see from this video, I'm recording this on a desktop computer. It will look very similar on a phone. But what I'll show you, as I've been speaking about these IDs. Now these can be quite useful if you're trying to track a trade. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this ID. Obviously, if you're on a phone, you would tap that ID. So if I click on it or tap on it on a phone, you'll see it brings up a list here of 3 messages, and that is because what it's doing is it's searching through the whole Telegram channel and finding any of the trades that match that ID. So it's not going to be that useful in this example because all three trades are right beside each other. So, but you'll see this list that's brought up here. It'll look slightly different on the phone. It'll be down at the bottom. You'll see some arrow keys down at the bottom of your phone, and that will let you switch between each one of the messages related to that ID. But it'll work similarly. So I'll show you. If I click on this, you see it's going to search and snap me down to that message, and I can click on this one, it's going to snap me to that message. I can click on this one, it's going to snap me to that message. So it's a very quick way of you being able to track a trade. For example, if Nick took a trade very early in the morning and then he closed it late in the evening, there would have obviously been a lot of trades in between that, and it might be hard to find where the trade was opened and where it was modified and where it was closed. But if you click on the ID, you'll be able to quickly move through the group and find those things. Additionally, you can also, it can be quite useful, you'll notice that the actual market or the derivative that was traded is also clickable in these messages. So if I click on gold here, you'll see a full list here, and it will give me a list of every gold trade that has been taken and the times for it. So if I want to see all the gold trades Nick has taken today, I can just click and I can switch between them quite quickly by just clicking on the messages here. It'll just show me an overview of every gold trade, and I can click and move between them quite quickly. Other things to note you may have seen, I'm just going to scroll up here, that we can send reports, and we are going to be sending in reports periodically. So you'll see here there is a new message here. It's a trade message, and it says daily report, and this is exactly what it sounds like. It's just a report of all the trades that Nick has closed for the day and what the results were. These were obviously all winning trades. They have the green tick beside them, and at the bottom it'll give you a daily overview of how many pips Nick has actually made in the day. There are daily reports we'll send out periodically. There are weekly and monthly reports as well that we will send out. There's also another handy report you'll see quite a bit, which is an open trades report, which again does what it sounds like it does. It's going to give an overview of all Nick's open trades and what their prices were and what details are in them, including stop losses and take profits. So Nick will post those out periodically as well, so you can be kept up to date on exactly what open positions he has. So that's it for this video. Hopefully it gives you a pretty good understanding of how our Telegram messaging service works and how the trades go instantly from Nick's MT4 as he's executing and modifying trades into the Telegram channel. Of course, if you have any questions or anything you want clarification on it, do feel free to give me a call, or of course you can just email me sam@bullandbearcap.com.